Hey, Chrissy here. I am a landscape architect and the owner of Kismet Design. I am a very process-driven designer, and I love sharing what I do and how I do it with anyone who's interested. Reaching your true potential and achieving your own personal goals will not happen by chance. You have to set your intentions, make a plan, and do the work. Thank you for joining me to nerd out on design. Don't forget to subscribe and to share too. Let's create something great together. This time of year, I always set aside time to review the past year and plan for the following year. Kind of boring, but it's really fun and it's super useful. Episode number 14 goes into more detail on what this process looks like. Although that episode was recorded over 2 years ago, my process hasn't changed much. Not only am I a creature of habit, but the process works really well for me. It helps me wrap my head around what went well, what I want to do differently the following year, and set realistic, strategic goals for the year ahead of me. I will be hosting a yearly planning workshop again on January 8th. If you go to the designer shop, you will find 3 purchase options. Because so many people already have the workbook, you can just purchase the live workshop to join in and have great discussion about setting goals and analyzing past year's metrics. If you need both, you can bundle them. If you prefer to work alone and only want the workbook, you can do that as well. But I'll tell you, last year we had a great time talking about goal setting and metrics to analyze your year and business well-being. I really hope you join me. Again, this is available in the designer shop, and I will have a link in the show notes as well. So back to why this matters. From the wise words of Maui in Moana, anyone with kids knows the quote already, but I'll say it for those of you who don't have kids or have kids that aren't of that age that you've watched Moana on repeat 10,000 times. What he says is, it's called wayfinding, princess. It's seeing where you're going in your mind, knowing where you are by knowing where you've been. I'll say that again. It's seeing where you're going in your mind, knowing where you are by knowing where you've been. It is so much easier to set goals and intentions for the future if you have a clear picture of where you've been. What worked well? Did you take a wrong turn? Did you get distracted? Knowing where you're headed in reference to where you're coming from is huge. And I not only look at profitability and financial records alongside quantity of leads and projects, but I also look at my workload and schedule and see how everything fit or didn't. There's been years where I've said yes too many times and taken on too much and packed my schedule too tight and regretted it. And then there's been years where I've taken the pendulum in the other direction and thought, you know what? I could be a little busier. Usually it works out as a blessing. But I keep a business diary that I fill out each month when I'm doing the closing of my books for the month. And not only do I have my financials each month that get included on that, but I also write some notes on what's going on. So, how many new leads did I have? What projects do I have in the bidding process? What is in construction? Even how many clients I'm waiting on in various stages. This year, especially, has been a waiting game for a lot of clients. Political years always seem to be a little bit that way, and the interest rates have definitely not helped. But having those things in a digestible format where I can look at them, look back at them, because I can't remember what happened yesterday, let alone 6 months ago. So I mark down those things. I also take note of if I took some time off, if I had some vacation, especially for time off where I'm not bringing my laptop and I'm not checking in on things and think I'm not doing meetings. So that does slow things down a little bit sometimes, depending on what's happening. And then anything else that might be helpful to look back at later. When I do this, I can clearly see patterns emerging. When I'm really busy with construction projects, design tends to slow down a little bit. And that creates a wave 8 to 10 months later where construction is slower because I didn't have the same cadence to the design piece of the business. Months with less new leads do the same. In seeing this, I can use this information to better strategically plan my calendar as new leads come in. When possible, I like to create a good mix of different types of projects so I don't cluster too many small or too many big projects together. Larger designs by nature just take longer. The feedback loop from clients takes longer, the design takes longer, the bids take longer, and the installation takes longer. A larger project can be 12 to 24 months from initial consultation to completed construction. The cadence of smaller projects fills the waiting gaps well if planned out intentionally. It doesn't always happen exactly perfectly, but being aware of it, I can see the opportunities and know how it will fill and affect future workflow. I could nerd out on this forever. If you want to dive deeper, please sign up to join me on January 8th, the yearly planning workshop. It will be an hour and a half live Zoom event. We talk metrics openly, so it will not be recorded. It's an open discussion. I do review how my process works, why I do certain things. I'll talk about some things that have worked well for me in the past, some things that haven't worked well for me in the past. I am an open book, but it's a collaborative process. It's really fun. We walk through the workbook together so that you can kind of get some insight as to why I have things placed a certain way. Obviously, my process doesn't work perfectly for everyone, so I will talk about some feedback that I've gotten from other designers on tweaks and changes that they've made to the process that works best for me. And there's some really great nuggets in there that might help you kind of cater that process to what works best for you and your business. And as a added extra bonus, if you purchase it through the end of December, and you can use the discount code Campfire, and you will get 20% off. So, especially if you need the bundle, that 20% off makes a big difference. And I really hope to see you there. And I will put the link to everything in the show notes. To wrap up, I want to thank you for your time. I hope the ideas discussed today have left you feeling excited and energized. As I build both my business and my life, I value the support and feedback you provide. I would love for you to reach out to me to let me know what you think, give me ideas, or just to connect. Please don't forget to subscribe and also share with a friend. Until next time, go create something wonderful.